friends, my name is Dalit Soni and you are watching News on Map World by Drishti IAS. In this episode, we will be discussing certain important locations from across the world which has been in news in the past week and that can be important for your exam. So let's start with the practice question which was given to you in the previous lecture. So the question was, consider the following pairs. In the one side you will have these ports and the second side you will have the corresponding countries are there. Okay, so now Shaksgam, Mongla and 𝐏𝐤, these are the ports given, and in front of that you have Bangladesh, Maldives and Myanmar. You have to choose which of the following are correctly matched. Okay, so when we are talking about this Shaksgam port, so that is in Bangladesh, that is correct. Then when we are talking about this Mongla port, that is not in Maldives, it is also present in Bangladesh. Okay, then 𝐏𝐤, it is in Myanmar, so this is correct. So we can say that the second is incorrect, first and third is correct. Here you can say option B would be your right answer. Now let's see the location of these ports over here. So when we are talking about the Chittagong or the Shaksgam, so this is the one, and here you can see that this is in Bangladesh. Okay, coming to the next, here you can see this is the Mongla over here somewhere. Okay, so there is this bay here and that is Mongla port. Okay, coming to the 𝐏𝐤, here you can see this is Myanmar and somewhere over here we have this 𝐏𝐤 port. Okay, so that is with Myanmar. Okay, so let's move further now. Question number 1. Which of the following statement is or are correct regarding the Shaksgam Valley? Okay, so when we are talking about the Shaksgam Valley, there are these statements which are given in front of you. First is Shaksgam Valley is part of 𝐏𝐤 region of Pakistan occupied Kashmir. Second is under the China-Pakistan boundary agreement of 1963, Pakistan handed over Shaksgam Valley to China. Third is India accepted the China-Pakistan boundary agreement of 1963 through the Lahore Declaration of 1993. Now the important part over here is that is Shaksgam Valley. We will talk about that on the map, but before that we will see the statements. First is this is part of the 𝐏𝐤 region of Pakistan occupied Kashmir. Now here you can see when we are talking about the Pakistan occupied Kashmir, you know that this area somewhere like this, if we see, this area is basically illegally occupied by Pakistan. Okay, when we talk about Shaksgam Valley, that is over here, and this Shaksgam Valley is part of the Gilgit-Baltistan. Okay, so when we talk about the Pakistan occupied Kashmir or whatever part of the Kashmir which has been occupied by Pakistan, so they have divided into two parts. One is your Azad Kashmir, okay, and second is Gilgit-Baltistan. When we are talking about the Shaksgam Valley, that is there in the Gilgit-Baltistan region. Okay, so that is one thing. Now remember that this part has been occupied by Pakistan illegally, so obviously this is India's part, okay, but it has been occupied by them illegally. Now when they have occupied this particular part, and afterwards in 1963 they have made an agreement with China and this part has been given to China. Okay, so that is there. Now coming back to the statements, so yes, statement 1 is true. Second, under the China-Pakistan boundary agreement of 1963, Pakistan handed over the Shaksgam Valley to China. Now this is also correct. India accepted the China-Pakistan boundary agreement. Why will we accept this particular agreement? Because obviously this part belongs to us. They have illegally occupied it. They have illegally given it to China. So obviously we do not accept such boundary agreement. So 1 and 2 is your answer. Option B is your correct answer here. Okay, we have seen the location of Shaksgam. Here you can see. And why this is important? Because yeah, somewhere here this is Despang Plains and here we have Kargil. Okay, so that is why this is location which we should know. Okay, now other than that there are these mountains etc which are there, which you should know. That is Kulnun mountain is there. Then you know that this is Karakoram range which is there. When we are talking about this Despang plain, and this area is also disputed. Okay, in somewhere over here we have Daulat Beg Oldie, which is important for us because this is India's highest altitude, or you can say world's highest altitude airstrip. Okay, so that is strategically important for us. Okay, so that is about this particular area. Now we when we are talking about this area, that is 𝐶𝐢𝐳, that is also been illegally occupied by China. Okay, now moving further, question number 2. Consider the following statement regarding Rafah City. Okay, so because of this Israel-Hamas issue, this Rafah City, Rafah crossing, these words has been in news, so that is why we have taken this question. So let's see. Statement 1 says that when Israel returned the Sinai Peninsula, Rafah crossing fell on the border between Gaza and Egypt. Okay, so when we are talking about this Sinai Peninsula and Golan Heights, these are the areas which has been occupied by Israel during a war in 1967, and they have kept these areas, but afterwards they have returned the Sinai Peninsula to Egypt. Okay, so when they actually returned this particular peninsula, at that point of time the border was this Rafah city, and on the Rafah city we have this Rafah crossing, that is a border between Gaza and the Egypt. Okay, so that is one thing which is you can say true over here. Now coming to the second statement, Rafah, Erez, Karem Shalom are the three border points for humanitarian aid in Gaza. When this warlike situation is going on over there, okay, and Israel's you can say war activities are going on in the Gaza, so there are three crossings which has been in news, out of which only one is there which is basically there for humanitarian aid. Okay, we will see why. Okay, so coming to the map over here, here you can see this is basically Israel. Okay, this is Gaza Strip, you know that this area is Gaza, and this is West Bank. This is also, you can say, Palestinian population is living over here. Now this is Golan Heights, which has been taken by Israel in 1967 from Syria, and still it is under the Israeli control. Now here this area, you can see this area has been occupied by Israel in 1967 war from Egypt. Okay, but they have given it back to 1982. They have given it back to Egypt in 1982. Okay, so right now this area is with Egypt. Okay, now coming to this particular area of Gaza Strip. Okay, and this boundary over here. Okay, so this is basically your Gaza Strip. Okay, and this is Egypt, or you can say Sinai Peninsula. Now on this particular boundary here we have this Rafah city, and now this is your Rafah crossing. Okay, so that is there. Second thing is this Karem Shalom. Karem Shalom crossing is also there, but now this crossing is between Gaza and Israel and not with the Egypt. Okay, so that is second thing. Here you can say Erez crossing. Erez crossing is also between Gaza and Israel and not with the Egypt. Okay, so these are the three crossings which has been in news, and recently when we are talking about this war which is going on there, this Rafah crossing has been used for the humanitarian aid mostly. Okay, now coming back to the question somewhere, so this statement is incorrect because three crossings are not been used, only Rafah has been used. Okay, so that is about this, only one A would be your right answer. Okay, now question number 3. Which of the following statement is not correct regarding La Nina? When we are talking about the climatic phenomena, etc., El Nino and La Nina are quite important for you. Okay, so let's talk about these statements. They are asking you which one is not correct. During La Nina event, the trade winds are stronger than normal, blowing more warm water towards Asia. Okay, so that is one thing. Second is, this caused the cooler surface ocean water temperature along the tropical west coast of South America. Third is, or you can say option C is, La Nina years are associated with the increase in the rainfall in India. D is, the duration of La Nina is not more than 1 year. Okay, now I will tell you about all these three statements over here, but when we are talking about the duration, which is a factual information, I'll tell you. When we are talking about the duration is normally around 9 to 12 months, but again it can go up to years. Okay, so this statement becomes wrong. Okay, this is not, actually they are saying that the duration of La Nina is not more than 1 year, but in some cases it can go beyond 1 year, it can go for years. Okay, so option D is your right answer because it is wrong. Now talking about these three statements, we will try to understand them from the map over here. So here you can see, this is, first we will talk about a El Nino condition. Okay, so here you can see this is Asia, part of Asia. Okay, Australia we will consider that this is part of Asia, and now this is your America or South America. Okay, now when you are talking about the Central America or the South American part, here you can see that during this particular time of El Nino, winds will be coming from Asia to South America, and from there they will take the moisture, or you can say the heat, and they will move towards this particular areas of Chile and Peru. Okay, of Chile and Peru. Now normally these areas are supposed to be cold. Okay, but because of these winds over here, these are hot winds. Okay, and that is why the temperature over this particular area increases. Temperature increases, and they will feel, what they will feel over here is that hot water is coming over there on this particular coast. Okay, since temperature is increasing, so obviously there will be convection. convection will be there, hot air will rise over there, and then there will be a cloud formation. Okay, there will be cloud formation, and ultimately there will be rains. So that is there. You will see that during the El Nino time, you will have rains in the southern American continent, or you can say areas of Chile and Peru. But on the same time, you will not have rains in the Asian parts. Or when we are talking about the El Nino, we almost most of the time hears that because of the El Nino years, India will witness less rainfalls. Okay, so basically in Asia there will be less rainfalls. Okay, so that is about El Nino year. Okay, we will Asia will witness you can say less rainfalls, and this area of Chile and Peru, they will witness high rainfalls. Okay, and second thing is the temperature, ocean surface temperature over here will rise. Okay, which is in normal times it is colder. Now coming to the next part, that is La Nina. Now La Nina will be, this is the excess heating. La Nina will be exact opposite. This will be excess cooling. What will happen in this particular time here is that the winds will flow from American side to the Asian side. Okay, now Asia will see hotter temperature, and because of which there will be convection, because of which there will be cloud formation, and ultimately there will be raining. Okay, so now Asia will witness rains. So you can say in the La Nina time, Asia will witness rains. Okay, and this area will be dry because there will be no rain, first thing. Second thing is temperature here will be low. So you can say that during the La Nina time, South American continent, or you can say areas of Chile and Peru, they will witness excess cooling. Okay, so that is a phenomena which is shown in the La Nina's time. Okay, so now coming to the next part over here, to make it easy, La Nina, you can see that from here in this particular from point of you can say this area of America, here you can see the hot waves or hot ocean winds are moving towards Asia, and here there will be cloud formation, and ultimately there will be rain in Asia. Okay, so that is one thing, and here you will witness dry conditions. Okay, now coming to you can say El Nino condition here. So that the exact opposite thing will happen over here, that from Asia you will witness that these hot waters are going towards the areas of Chile and Peru, and here you will see these convections, and the rain will be happening over there. Okay, now one more thing I would like to tell you over here is that when the water is moving from this part of South America to Asian parts. Okay, so obviously when water is going away from this particular area, earlier there was this hot water which has moved to this area. So obviously the water from the below, or you can say when we are talking about the oceanic cycles, the surface if water from surface is getting replaced, so water from the deep oceans, that will come at the surface. Okay, so now in the deep oceans the water is cool. Since this water is replaced, this water will come at the top of it, and ultimately you will see that this water which is coming from the depth of the ocean, this will have a little bit cooling effect. Okay, and they will come to the surface. Second thing is, with that water there are various nutrients which are coming to the surface. Okay, and these nutrients will actually allow various phytoplanktons to actually produce over here, and ultimately fishes will come over here. So population of fishes will increase over here because of the nutrients availability. Okay, and this phenomena is called upwelling. Okay, and during the upwelling, what you will see that because the water is coming to the surface, they will also bring some nutrients, and ultimately, and you can say here the temperature is also getting mixed, and there will be population of aquatic elements which will be increasing. So these are the areas which are good for the fishing at that point of time. Okay, so that is about El Nino and La Nina. Now coming back to the question over here. Now during the La Nina events, the trade winds are stronger than normal, blowing more water towards Asia, which we have seen that they are moving towards Asia. Okay, so during La Nina, these waters are moving from American side to Asian sides. Okay, so that is correct. Second is, this cause cooler surface water temperature along the tropical west coast of the South America. Because this hot water is going towards Asia, so we will witness a cooling effect on the you can say South American continent and Chile and Peru area. So this is also correct. La Nina years are associated with the increase in the rainfall in India. As I told you, during the El Nino time, we will witness lesser rainfall, and during the La Nina time, Asia will witness higher rainfall. So obviously this is also true. So option D is incorrect, and that is your answer. Now moving to the question number 4. Consider the following statement with reference to Ukraine. Ukraine is the second largest country in European continent. Then Ukraine is bordered by Black Sea and the Caspian Sea to the south. Third is Ukraine's fertile plains called prairies are ideal for growing crops such as wheat. Okay. Now coming to the first statement. Now this is the second largest country in the European continent. So this is correct. Okay. When we are talking about the first largest, or you can say largest country, you will reply me in the comment box which is the largest country in the European continent. Okay. Ukraine is the second largest. Now coming to the second statement. Ukraine is bordered by Black Sea and Caspian Sea. Let's see the map. Okay. So this is the map over here. Okay. So obviously when we are talking about the Ukraine, this is here, and we can see that this is having a border with the Black Sea and Sea of Azov. Okay. Now coming to the Caspian Sea is somewhere over here, and this is Russia. Okay. So Ukraine is not having a boundary with the Caspian Sea. Now, so this statement becomes wrong because it is having a boundary with the Sea of Azov and Black Sea, but not with the Caspian Sea. Okay. Now Ukraine's fertile plains called prairies are ideal for the growing such crops such as wheat. Okay. Now when we are talking about the fertile plains and the area which are good for the cultivation of wheat, so that is perfect. That Ukraine is also called as the, you can say, wheat basket of this particular area of the Europe. Okay, so that is why this becomes important for you. This is also called as the bread basket of the Europe because they are giving you the wheat. Okay, but when we are talking about the name, that is prairies, it is not called as prairies, it is called as steppes. Okay, so we'll talk about that. Before that, here you can see this particular map. Here we have Black Sea, we have Sea of Azov. This is basically Ukraine, and there is this prominent river, that is Dnieper. So this Dnieper river is flowing through Ukraine and ultimately going to the Black Sea. Okay. Now coming to the next part, which is talking about the grassland where we find this, when we are talking about the wheat. So this is your Black Sea area. Okay. And this area basically is Ukraine. And when we are talking about these grasslands over here, these are called steppes and not prairies. Prairies are found in North America. Okay, so in the North American continent, these grasslands are called as prairies. In South American continent, these are called as pampas. In, you can say, African continent, in the Southern Africa, it is called velds. When we are talking about this area, that is called savannas. Okay, so this is about different kind of grasslands. Okay, in this area, it is called steppes. Coming to the question, so this statement becomes incorrect because it is called steppes. Okay, second is incorrect. Only one is your answer. Option A is your right answer. Okay. Now moving further to the next question, that is question number 5. Which of the following ports is envisaged as the International North-South Transport Corridor (INSTC)? Okay, Bandar Abbas, Bandar-e-Anjali, Astrakhan, and Kochi. Okay, so when we are talking about this, international north-south transport corridor, here we can see the map first. Okay, so it is starting from Mumbai. We know that it is starting from Mumbai somewhere over here, and then it is going to this Bandar Abbas. Okay, so Bandar Abbas is port of Iran. Okay, then you will see over here we have this Bandar Anjali. So that is also basically a port of Iran. Then this is Astrakhan. Astrakhan is in Russia. So basically, ultimately now here you will see that it will go up to St. Petersburg in Russia. So that is the you can say International North-South Transport Corridor. Okay. So when coming to the question again, here you can see Kochi is not part of it because in India it starts from Mumbai. Okay. So Bandar Abbas, Bandar-e-Anjali, and Astrakhan, these are three ports which are part of your INSTC. Okay. So 1, 2, and 3 is your answer. Option C would be your correct answer here. Now moving to the question number 6. Where is Sagging area sometimes seen in news located? Okay, so basically they are talking about the Sagging area. Okay, Myanmar, Malaysia, Vietnam, Thailand. When we talk about this area, this is in Myanmar. I will tell you because it is some information. Then when we are talking about this area which was in news, because obviously you must have heard that there was this military coup which has happened few years earlier in Myanmar, and afterward this was the area where there was this armed rebellion which happened against the military Janata government over there. Okay, so that is why this area was in news. That is in Myanmar. Here you can see. So when we are talking about this Sagging area, this is the area of, this is basically Myanmar, and in the northern part, northwest part, you can say this Sagging area is there. And the fun fact over here is that this is having a boundary with India. Okay, so the areas like you can say Nagaland and Manipur, they are having a direct boundary with this particular area, and that is why this issue of you can say migrants is also illegal immigrants is also there in that particular area. Okay, so that is about this Sagging area, which is in news, which is present in Myanmar. Okay, now moving further, question number 7. Consider the following statements about river Nile. Okay, so this is a river of African continent. Okay, statement 1 says it passed through the Egypt and 10 other African countries before reaching its end point in Mediterranean Sea. Okay, we will see through that. Second is the Nile river is formed by only 2 streams, namely Blue Nile and the White Nile. Okay, so you have to choose the correct statements over here. So let's see first statement here. So here you can see they are saying that Egypt and 10 more countries. Okay, so when we talk about the origin of Nile, so there are 2-3 streams which are forming the Nile. But when we see this particular area from here, this is the river basin of the Nile. The first stream is this. Okay, second is this. These are the streams which are forming Nile. Okay, so ultimately in Egypt it is there. After that we have to see 10 more countries. So here you can see Burundi, Rwanda, Democratic Republic of Congo. Okay, then we have Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, South Sudan, Sudan, Ethiopia, Eritrea, okay, and then Egypt. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 plus Egypt. Okay, so that statement is true. So we can say that this statement is true. Second is the Nile river is formed by only 2 streams, namely Blue Nile and White Nile. Okay, so when we are talking about the streams over here, so here you can say when we are talking about the Nile river, one stream is that this is your Atbara. Okay, Atbara is one of the stream which is also basically you can say part of Nile. Okay, so when we are talking about the river Nile, so there are few streams which are basically making the Nile river. Okay, so here you can see this is your Lake Tana, and from where this is this stream that is called as Atbara. Okay, I'll write it down for you, Atbara. Okay, so that is one stream. Then here you can see this is the Blue Nile. Okay, so that is the second stream, that is Blue Nile, and then we have this White Nile. Okay, so this White Nile is there. So these 3 streams are basically forming this Nile river. Okay, which is going to Egypt afterwards, and Nile river is forming its mouth in the Egypt. Okay, so basically that is why we can say that the Blue Nile begins near the Lake Tana in Ethiopia, which we have already seen. Then the White Nile, the longer of the 2, originates in the Lake Victoria in Uganda. Okay, so this is some factual information which you can remember. Now the point over here is that there are various streams which are basically forming the Nile river. The main of you can say the important are Atbara, Blue Nile and White Nile. Okay, so these are the 3 streams. So coming back to the question again here, you can say they are saying that it is only formed by the 2 streams, so that is incorrect. Okay, so only one will be your answer, that is A. Okay, now moving to the last part, that is basically your practice question. So the question is, consider the following statement regarding the benefits associated with Chabar port. First statement is, it provides an alternative route to Afghanistan and Central Asia bypassing Pakistan. Second statement is, it is part of proposed International North-South Transport Corridor INSTC, which provides an alternative to the Suez Canal route. Then third is, this will strengthen India's presence in the Gulf region. How many of the above statements are correct? So you have to attempt the question, you have to read the statement and choose the correct statements and mark accordingly. Okay, so with that I would like to take your leave. If you have not subscribed the channel, please subscribe it. Have a nice day. Thank you.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.